Hey guys, well look, you see my facial hair? Yeah, 20 years old, finally growing some real facial hair. Yes, I don't know why, but sometimes I just like starting videos in different positions because sometimes I get bored of doing it the same old way, and this kind of motivated me to make the video anyway. Alright guys, it's the next day from the previous video that I recorded. Like I said in the last video, if you caught watching it, I'm making two parts. One shows more category of harder kind of stuff, music. This is gonna be a lot of 60s stuff and stuff related to that. So yeah, but I had to upload the video this morning. I actually got one dislike. So if you're the one who disliked it, hope you had fun with it because I don't really care. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be showing you this stuff. And if I didn't mention last video, I got a haircut. It was actually really short when I first got it. Whatever, let's get to this video. Hopefully, I'm not going to forget to show anything. And I don't know if I mentioned this either. I actually went to various stores to get all this stuff from both videos. First thing I'm going to show you is actually a magazine that I got in. I just forgot when I got it. I don't even remember showing it, but it's just a Doors magazine. It should be pretty new because it says the 50th anniversary, stories behind each album. Because the first album was recorded in August '66. It says display until June. So I got this around that time. So it's a pretty cool magazine. Here's a photo. Alright, let's get started on some of this stuff. Just recently was the anniversary of, sadly, of Elvis Presley's death. And I actually have a few things for him to show. Okay, here, this is a very unusual thing I got at a record store, a newer one. I think it's a 10-inch. Look at this. It's a Loving You 10-inch. I got it for 12 bucks. This. Really cool. Like, I never seen something like this before. And it's a pressing from France. I don't know if this is a 50s item. You can see the back again. It looks too new to me to be it, even though I could see some wear on it. But this honestly looks pretty good shape. Could probably be a 60s, but I'm guessing it's more of a 50s thing. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, this other record of Elvis I mainly just got it at Guitar Center because I was getting some other things. And I got this there just because it was there. It's a reissue of Elvis's first album. This was 17 bucks. I mean, I wouldn't have got it at any other place because there's nothing really special about it. The record here is just looks pretty standard. It almost looks like the 70s issue, but this is a newer issue. Here we go. For 9 bucks, I actually got this really recently. It's Garrett Pupkin in the Union Gap, featuring Young Girl. The reason I got this is because it's a Taiwan pressing now. I'm like the biggest sucker for Taiwan pressings. I don't know why. It's not because of the sound, even though some of them that I heard didn't sound any bad to me. But these usually get cut as bad recording quality. But these usually don't from the ones I've heard. I got some other bands. I don't really know much about this band. I heard of their name. I'm starting to really build a Taiwan collection. I think I've shown a lot of them in one of my previous videos, but that's really nice. Okay, this was a really cheap find, but I decided to pick it up because of that. For 94 cents, I just got another copy of Jefferson Airplane, Crown of Creation. At one point, I was actually pretty obsessed with Grace Slick. Almost like I am with Joan Jett, but with Joan Jett, I feel like I relate more to her because she's kind of like a rock and roll heart and stuff like that, as opposed to Grace Slick, who's kind of more like psychedelic and drugs. But I'm not really that big a fan of their music, to be honest. I even played this album and I just didn't really care for it that much. So I'm probably not going to be collecting their stuff anymore. I got basically all their 60s stuff, so that's all I need for a collection. Okay, right here is actually a CD I feel like showing right here. It was for 4 bucks. The best of Eric Burdon and the Animals, 66 to 68. The reason I got this is because I play CDs a lot in my car. A lot of the times they're the same stuff. So I wanted to get more stuff. This actually has When I Was Young, which is probably my favorite Animals track. So that's why I wanted to get it, to have it on CD. The only disappointment about this album is it doesn't have St. James Infirmary or something like that. It's off their album, Every One of Us, but I love that song too, but it's not on here. But it was cool to get this nonetheless. Okay, right here I got a Who record, The Who, for 28 bucks. This was a brand new issue of The Who, My Generation. I keep collecting a lot of the Who stuff. It's just something about them. I like collecting a lot of their stuff, aside from having great music. But this is, the reason I got this is because it's a different pressing. You can see it's probably one of the more recent pressings, so that's why I got it. I like to collect all different pressings, new and old, for the Who. Okay, this one was a really cool one. I got this recently as well. It's the Byrds Fifth Dimension for 7 bucks. When I first started collecting the Byrds, when I wanted to get their first few albums, it was just really hard for me. I don't know why. Nowadays, after I already gotten all those, I see their albums everywhere. So I decided to get this because on the back it says demonstration not for sale. So that's really cool. I don't know if it means anything. The record honestly just looks like a regular standard pressing. It's really great shape, honestly, aside from just being bent on the side. There's no ring wear on the cover, so that's nice. The other copy I have is a mono, I believe, so it's good that I have a stereo, so I got both. Okay, recently they started putting out Pink Floyd albums reissued. I love collecting 60s Floyd. I think I probably am into that more, even though I'm not that big into either era. But I have more interest in collecting their 60s stuff. So of course I got Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and this is really cool how they made it look like an original, except the flip backs are just printed on these copies. I finally got an official version of it. Another copy I have is on red vinyl, and I think it could be a bootleg, but this is great. Of course I got Saucer Full of Secrets. I heard this album a while ago. It was pretty interesting. I really haven't heard it in a long time, so I gotta listen to it again. And here's one I haven't even listened to. I got their album More, which is a soundtrack album. So I wonder what this is gonna sound like. I really like the cover on this. Well, all these Pink Floyd albums I just showed, I love their artwork on them. And this one has this kind of Columbia label. So okay, this next reissue I got was just a really interesting one. And I don't think many people even bother to look at this album, but I think everyone should check it out if they can find it. I got it online brand new, really cheap, and there's still some copies out there on Discogs, really cheap of this issue. So I got a copy of David Bowie's debut album. This is a brand new reissue. Yeah, I started to get a lot of David Bowie now, and I'm glad to get his first album on vinyl. It's a really different sound for Bowie. Lots of people don't even bother with this album because it's like completely different from anything. But yeah, this is a double record version. Yeah, it's a mono and stereo. So it's just 2 copies of the album here. Here's a stereo record. The inner sleeve to that one is just kind of funny. It just looks like almost like a US pressing of it, but it doesn't have the title. So I think that's really cool. That's like that. And mono record, I'll show you the inner sleeve for it too. It's actually really cool photo, and then like a letter or something on the back. And here's the record. So that's the mono one. Alright, I got some more stuff here. Right here is a Rolling Stones reissue I got, Between the Buttons. It was brand new. The reason I got it, because it's the UK track listing. I prefer the one that has Ruby Tuesday and Let's Spend the Night Together, which is the US one, but I decided to just get this to have it. But unfortunately, I think the record's damaged. I don't know if that's just something I could wipe off, but that kind of pisses me off. It's only on that side one. But yeah, it's kind of just almost all over that outer groove, but it's actually gotten the first song a little bit. I don't know if that's just something you can wipe off or if it's actually a scratch. Okay, continuing, I got Rolling Stones here. I got their German album, Around and Around. Yeah, I believe this is actually a pressing from probably 69 or 70. Because I know for a fact this is not an original, but it honestly looks pretty good shape. I actually gotten a lot of these pressings here for the Rolling Stones, German, I think. Yeah, this is a really cool one here. It has songs like Around and Around and I Wanna Be Your Man and Poison Ivy and Not Fade Away. It's All Over Now. So stuff like that. This is like probably the oddest looking compilation I've ever seen. It's called the Rolling Stones Great Hits. And this was $9. And this is, I think, a reissue of this album from like the 70s. The original, I think, came out in like 69. But yeah, this is definitely not their greatest hits. But I mean, I like collecting a lot of stuff that I'm just calling it weird in general. But it has, side one is like songs from Between the Buttons, like Yesterday's Papers, All Sold Out. And it also has like songs from Aftermath, like Mother's Little Helper, which is actually a hit, and Flight 505. And side two is basically songs from like 64. But yeah, this is like a 70s pressing of it, German. So, okay, this record is one I've been wanting for a while, and I finally found a reissue of it. It was actually $35, and it's something really different. It's Etta James at Last. My mom has the CD for it. I think it's a pretty good album. This is actually the deluxe issue of it, so it has 4 more songs on here. But yeah, of course it has like the song At Last, and she has a really good voice. She has a really ballsy voice actually. Some of her songs she sounds like it could have like been an influence for early Zeppelin Robert Plant. Yeah, I was glad to get a copy of this for my collection. I'm about to be showing Beatles really soon, but this next record, I think some of you guys are going to think it's a really cool find, even though I don't know if I overpaid for it. But I finally got a copy of Pet Sound, not a reissue, but this is actually a UK pressing of it. Yeah, it has the flipbacks. I believe it's an original pressing. I paid $40 for this. And it's just something I've never seen. I don't even see original US pressings or reissues of the album. I've only seen like new issues of it. So I'm glad to get this. The reason I probably overpaid though is because it looks a little worn. The record looks a little beat up. But I think it's just surface marks. There's nothing really deep on here. I could probably clean it. I think it's just really cool. And it also comes with this really cool inner sleeve that easily reminds me of the Beatles UK albums. If you guys know about it, it's this one. So yeah, I thought that was really cool to get this. Okay, here's basically the Beatles for the rest of the video. This is actually going to be a few solo stuff first. I got another Ringo album finally. I only had one Ringo album, I think, in my collection. So I got a copy of Ringo's Bad Boy. This was $8, but the reason I got it is because it's a promo. So I love that. See, there's a gold stamp up here as well. And I just think the artwork looks like 60s, 50s-ish. And the record is on white label promo. Okay, here I got a George Harrison record. I got Somewhere in England, which I already have a copy of this album, but I just had to get another one is because it's a Japanese pressing. Here in the back I got the lyric sheet. It actually has a few things in here. Here's this. And it has this ad here. I don't know if this is actually an original issue of it, because this album came out in like the 80s. I don't know if this had an Obi, but there isn't one in here. I'll show you the record. I think that's cool. I collect it. It's Japanese. Alright guys, here's a 12-inch single. I have quite a few now. But here for $6 I got Paul McCartney and Wings' Goodnight Tonight. I've always seen this, but I didn't really care to get it. But now I actually heard some of the song on a commercial, and I actually really like the song Goodnight Tonight. So figured I'd get it because it's a cool track. And this is a UK pressing. Okay, right here for $1 I got Paul McCartney's Tug of War record. Yeah, why not for $1? I mean, I'm not too interested in getting Paul McCartney's 80s stuff, but if I see it for $1, I'll definitely get a copy, and it looks alright condition. Okay, right here, this record, I mainly got it just to have it. I mean, I definitely overpaid for it now. I'm not going to say the price. Um, I just wanted to get it. And it's Paul McCartney's album called Family Way, which is actually a soundtrack album. Paul McCartney produced it, I should say. This is from like late 66, early 67. So the reason I overpaid is because it's like, I think, an 80s issue of it. But it's an Australian pressing. So, and it looks pretty good condition on here, aside from some of the label damage. But yeah, I just wanted to get this. It's just something different in my collection. I saw cheaper copies, I believe, of this online, but I just got this at one of my newer record stores that I found. Okay, here we're on with just strictly Beatles for here on out. I got a Beatles CD. I got Yellow Submarine, like the first CD issue of it. I believe this is like from the late 80s. But yeah, I believe I have all these now. The whole Beatles collection on this pressing CD, so. Okay, right here I actually have a 45 to show. It's a UK pressing of Can't Buy Me Love, and You Can't Do That. And I was surprised it was only $1.50. And it looks pretty good shape for that cheap. And it's something different because I don't even think this was really a true UK single. Everyone knows that Can't Buy Me Love was on the Hard Day's Night album. So this is really considered a US single, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, right here I finally got a copy of Let It Be Naked. Once again, another album I overpaid. It was sealed, but I found cheaper copies online. And I actually opened it too, because I don't have a copy on vinyl. So I wanted to open it, but I left the shrink on. I just kind of don't like leaving albums sealed for some reason. Here's a booklet. I'll just show you a photo. Flip to George here. It actually comes with a 12-inch single, which is really interesting. Yeah, this is like the fly on the wall, like interview, talking type of a thing. And here's the record itself. Alright guys, I got a bootleg here called Come Back. And this was 18 bucks. And it just looks like it's on a regular cardboard here. But here's the record inside. And yeah, I've heard of this bootleg. I don't know if this is a copy of it being one of the earliest Beatle bootlegs. But I've heard that this was, I think, like the first Beatles bootleg. It was probably put out in like 70 or something like that. So it was one of the earliest bootlegs in general, so I thought that was cool. I got some other bootlegs here. This record store I went to had a lot of stuff. I almost missed it because it was like just put to the side somewhere, which was kind of stupid. But it had a lot of stuff. And for $20, I got a copy of the Beatles Ultra Rare Tracks Volume 5 and 6. They had another Ultra Rare Track thing, but I just got this one because I didn't want to spend all my money. But it's a double album, but here's just one of the records. Okay, just recently was the 50th anniversary for this record. I finally got the Country Flag Series Japanese pressing of it, Revolver. Yeah, and it has the insert here. Here's the back. Really like the artwork on the back. It's just the Obies blocking Paul and George. And here's the record, of course. Something weird though, this coverage is really, really thin. It's really flimsy. I don't know if this is still a 1976 pressing, but I'm not even sure if they ever reissues from this series, so that's kind of weird, but I'm glad to get it. And I got another record from the same series. I actually got this at that record store, and it's I got the early Beatles, and it was $30. I could see that they took down the price a little bit. Yeah, they actually had a handful of these at that record store, I think most of them I had already, so I almost passed this up because I was flipping through them quick. I didn't realize that I don't have this one. So yeah, this is a gatefold. It's a nice photo of Ringo. And here's the record, of course. Alright guys, I believe this is the last record to show you. It's another Beatles bootleg. I paid $40 for this, and I got this at that same record store. It's still in the shrink too. It's reintroducing the Beatles. And I just love this cover here. I mean, I've seen it a lot, but I like it with the border and everything. And here's the back as another photo. I didn't realize though that a lot of the track listing I already have. There's just some stuff I don't have, like the May 1960 recordings. I don't have some of them. Like One After 909, I'll Follow the Sun, and some other things like that. But then it has That'll Be the Day, which I believe was like their first recording. And then it has like the My Bonnie and Tony Sheridan, some of the Decca stuff, and I think Hamburg. Then side 3 is radio interviews, and then I think side 4 is just BBC. So this is like kind of a mixed bag here. I thought it would have a lot of their really early recordings, like pre-Ringo, but it has some Ringo stuff on here. But it's a double record, but once again I'll just show you only one, because it looks the same basically. Rubber Soul logo. Alright guys, I believe that's everything, and hope that you bother to watch both these videos, and I hope that you don't skip through them, even though you could do whatever you want. But the reason I make these videos is for you guys to watch them, because I already know what I have. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this, hope I didn't forget anything, and hopefully I won't be gone away for another month. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll definitely be recording clips for a Joan Jett concert I'm going to be going to. I mentioned that in the other video. So anyway guys, thanks, and I will see you later.